This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. If you still want to listen, go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty Podcast, one of the only podcasts dedicated to rewatching every game of the Patriots Dynasty era. I'm your host, Andy Brown. With me tonight, as always, are my trusty brothers. Not trustworthy, but trusty. Especially that Greg Brown.
What's the difference?
Yeah. How did you say as always, as if like Greg is here all the time?
I mean, he has been lately.
Yeah.
This season, I don't think either of you have missed a game, right? I'm not going to fact check that.
I didn't
because we don't do that anymore either.
I didn't watch last week for the first time in forever. I did watch this one though. Yeah. Most of it. Through the third quarter.
Yeah, but you've both been here for all of these, at least.
I guess I have PTSD from when Greg would only show up once every 5 times.
That was years ago.
This whole lenient scheduling has been a godsend.
Yeah, it has. Because we're only showing up now when all of us can actually do it.
That's a good point.
Thank God for that baby.
Yeah.
Kid's really saving my ass.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's putting a crimp on my style, but I didn't have much style to begin with, so it's all good.
Speaking of babies, huh, Steve? Wah, wah.
What?
Andy's being a baby.
I think he's complaining about me.
Nice, Greg.
Stressful.
Got him.
Speaking of babies, this week we are talking about the Cleveland Browns and their front office being big old babies, firing their head coach midway through the season. Butch something or other. What the fuck was his name? Cassidy. That's what I thought. There's why I didn't say it. Yeah, Butch Davis got fired midweek this week before the game. So Terry Robisky is in his he's getting his second shot at being an interim head coach, which you don't often hear people getting more than one shot at that.
And
never heard of him. Terry,
real quick, you guys passed on by the commentators. This will be a winning team in fairly short order.
I wrote the exact same thing. Yeah, this will be a winning team in fairly short order. They're going to do this right. They're going to do this the right way. And this is 2004. So it'll happen soon, I'm sure.
Well, what are their records? Like,
coming into this game, they are 3-8.
I meant out seasons here.
This season, they will finish 4-12 on this season in 2004.
6-10, 4-12, 10-6.
Ooh.
4-12, 5-11, 5-11, 4-12, 5-11, 4-12, 7-9, 3-13, 1-15, 0-16.
So short order.
Getting there. So
10-6.
Well, the Browns just won a playoff game, right? This last year? It's all a blur.
I thought they lost a playoff game.
I thought they won one. Didn't they
to Pittsburgh, right? With Kelly Holcomb?
No, I mean like this past year they won a playoff game.
No. 2020 they lost in the divisional round, so
yeah, so they won their wild card game, I think, against somebody. And that was their first win since Bill Belichick was their head coach back in the 90s.
This is Terry's only shot at it. He gets replaced next year by who?
All right, doesn't matter.
Dude, asking me about Browns coaches.
Well, he's a Patriots coach in this game.
Oh, Romeo Cornell? Yeah. And he doesn't last for long either.
This offseason is when he leaves for them, and then Charlie Weiss goes to Notre Dame soon after? Year after?
The same season, I thought, yeah. But they actually showed the stat at the beginning of this that Cleveland led the series 12 games to 7.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, they are currently tied at 13-13.
No way.
Because, yes, the Browns have only won one game.
Peyton Hillis.
That is correct. Who was the head coach?
Mangini.
Correct. Nicely done. Yep.
I could barely remember that game.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that game, the Patriots kicker was injured. And so do you know who kicked the extra points?
That was Wes Welker.
Correct. Nicely done.
2010. I just looked it up.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It's on patsdynasty.com.
That is correct. You can look at all this stuff. There's actually I did a solo episode when you two weren't here about Wes Welker's
How did
game
that go?
on the Dolphins.
I need to listen to that thing.
It went way better than having you here. I'm not gonna lie. It was also
Did you
Better
feel
for
weird?
you or for everybody listening?
it was actually one of the more popular ones that we put out. So both.
Was it on a game?
Yeah. It was about when the Patriots. It was 2003 when the Patriots played the Dolphins to set the streak of most wins in a row that they broke the Dolphin streak from. But the story of the game was Wes Welker was their full-time kicker because their kicker pulled a hammy in warm-ups. So
when he was on the Dolphins.
Yeah. So he was doing kickoffs. He was doing extra points, and I don't think he kicked a field goal, but yeah. So his first ever point scored in the NFL was an extra point in that game.
So how did this? You're doing it yourself, and you're just talking into the abyss. How is that?
But I never really asked a bunch of questions. How long is it?
It's a lot shorter than these ones that we do because I don't have to put up with you fuckers.
But like, I could see you just droning on for like 45 minutes and saying that's a lot shorter.
I mean, yeah, it went for, it was over half an hour. It was like 35, 40 minutes after I took out all the silence.
Sociopath shit right there.
Goddamn right.
Andy just like in a basement, just talking to himself about a 2004 Patriots game.
Hey, I did it in my bedroom. Thank you.
Against the Dolphins, Wes Welker kicked an extra point.
It's fucking great.
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
You're a nutcase.
You're welcome. All right. So, a little bit more about this Cleveland Browns football team. I will do the talking about it because
why can't I? I got notes.
All right. So, Steve, do you think Gregory watched the game?
Absolutely not.
Do you think he watched the highlights?
Probably.
All right, Greg, so let's hear your notes.
I watched the highlights.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I looked at Luke McCown.
I
did some digging about him.
His first ever NFL start in this game.
The lesser of the McCown brothers, if you can believe that.
Every time I hear McCown, I just think of apples.
And he still played till 34 years old. Goodness.
Dude, he played 13 seasons in the NFL. He only started 10 games in his whole career.
Oh, he's one of those. Okay.
He played for 13 seasons and threw 9 total touchdowns. All 9 of them were in his first 2 years.
Holy shit.
No way.
And he made $17 million over his career.
So more than $1 million a touchdown.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
Dude, this guy's living the fucking dream.
How much per like pass attempt is he making?
It's a good question. I'm sure we can figure it out. I bet it's
more than your yearly salary.
Tens of thousands of dollars for sure.
356 passing attempts. He said 17 million.
Mm-hmm.
Do the math, Steve.
No, I got a calculator for that.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
That's Siri.
What? I'm gonna call it 365. 46K each.
Wow.
That's not bad.
I mean, in this game, how many attempts did he have?
Too many, and also not enough. We'll just get this out of the. So the Browns team coming in.
A lot of money this game.
the Browns coming in this game.
$1.5 million this game.
Damn, that's not too bad.
I love that.
I mean, in this game, he probably earned it. Your first game ever going against the 2004 New England Patriots defense with an interim head coach is a tough ask.
He did okay.
He hung in there. He actually had better numbers than Brady at the half.
Brady did not play very well.
He was also losing 21-7 at the half.
But it felt closer than that.
I disagree.
I thought the game sort of turned on that scoop and score to make it 28-7.
So
the first play.
So here let's just run down this real quick. But before we get to that, the I think we talked about it last week because the highlights were part of the game that we watched, the video. where it was that shootout was the second highest scoring game ever in NFL history.
All right.
Between these Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Browns scored 48 points and got outscored by 2 scores and lost 58-48. I watched the 15 minutes extended highlights of that game. The Browns did not look like they're a team that scored 48 points. They were awful.
It wasn't McCown though, right? It was Holcomb.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't McCown. I think McCown ended up in there like at the end of it or someone. They had somebody else in at the end. I can't remember who it was.
This is his first
Garcia?
his first touchdown.
Yeah. He was a 4th round pick. They're saying he was like as high as a number 2 quarterback in the country coming out of high school.
Who was McCown?
Yeah, Luke McCown.
Jesus.
He played a bunch of, he had like a bunch of NCAA like top 5 records for yards and
he didn't want to. He got recruited by Oklahoma and Florida State, but he ended up at Louisiana Tech, which like it's not even that local for him. He's from Texas, so I don't even understand that. It's like
maybe his family.
I think it might be a Christian thing.
I
know they're big God squatters, so that might have had something to do with it.
That could be it. Yeah,
like Texas isn't or Oklahoma isn't.
But Greg, you touched on something here.
Certain schools
about the Browns quarterback situation this year.
Yeah, they started a bunch of guys, right?
They started 3 players. Jeff Garcia started the most games, started 10 games, went 3-7.
Notable gay athlete, one of the best ever.
Really? Jeff Garcia?
No, remember Terrell Owens?
No.
What? Like started a rumor that Jeff Garcia was gay, even though he wasn't, just because he didn't like Jeff Garcia. Yeah.
Oh man.
Was this when he was on the 49ers or after?
I think it was like as he was pushing his way out the door.
Oh yeah.
What a way to get your way out the door.
Ridiculous, dude. And Jeff Garcia was like, what the fuck?
Gay,
yeah, right? Poor Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So he was the main starter. I don't know if he's battling injuries or what, but he also only threw 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in 10 games. And then Luke McCown was their second leading quarterback, started 4 games, including this one, went 0-4. 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And then Kelly Holcomb is the wild card. He started 2 games, went 1-1. One of those games was the game against the Bengals where he threw for 413 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 picks. And he ended the season with 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So that second game didn't go so great.
2 TDs, 3 interceptions.
Yeah. So not a great look when you're starting 3 quarterbacks who all have similar numbers. This is just a bad team. And
nobody I know on their defense, the whole roster, except for Ebenezer Ekuban.
Yeah.
He barely played. He wasn't even a starter at this point.
I recognize Robert Griffith, but I always picture him as a Viking. I didn't know he played on the Browns.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The third?
No, the first.
Oh, God.
But their leading rusher was somebody named Lee Suggs.
What? Sorry to interrupt. I looked up the statements from Terrell Owens.
Oh, okay.
It's bad.
Is it?
First of all, it's in an interview with Playboy.
Oh, of course it is.
And he said, like my boy tells me, if it looks like a rat and smells like a rat, by golly, it's a rat. when discussing Garcia's sexuality.
Oh boy.
Yikes, dude. Yikes.
Yeah. A rat.
It could be taken out of context, but so I would like to see the whole.
Also, like, isn't it supposed to be a duck?
Discussing his sexuality.
If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, like why are you going with rat, man?
Yeah, rat. I don't even think
cool.
That's yeah.
And do like rats have a distinct smell? I couldn't tell you what a rat smells like.
And it's not even smell, right? If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck,
yeah,
it's a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird one there.
Yeah. All right.
Imagine if someone did that in today's day and age. Oh my God. Went on Playboy and outed a straight guy as their quarterback.
Yeah.
And comparing it to a rat.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Twitter would have a meltdown.
It's ridiculous.
Apparently Garcia is just taking the high road the whole time though.
Good for him.
He's a classy guy.
I mean, you kind of have like
he got in trouble recently. Did you hear he got in trouble?
No.
Jeff Garcia?
Yeah.
For what?
He got mad at Mina Kimes, ESPN.
Oh yeah.
And he like made that argument of like, I forget who she was criticizing, but he was like, if you've never played the sport.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody just came for his throat.
Oh, they piled on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm getting canceled for this shit. T.O. called me gay and Playboy.
Oh, too true.
I'm married. I got kids. This is bullshit.
Hey, what do you want to tell you, Jeff? It looks like a rat.
Smells like a rat.
Hey, Jeff, you know what a rat smells like? Oh man. Yeah. So the only name I did recognize in this team was William Green, the running back, because he played at BC.
Legend.
Exactly. Yeah.
We actually talked about him last week.
Oh, that's right. We did.
He was a bust. He was a first round pick.
Was he really?
Yep, 16th overall.
Oof.
I think.
He might have been good. He was just stuck on the Browns.
Well,
Yeah, he had some pretty crazy stats in college.
yeah, he was like the only BC name I remember.
Yeah,
knowing growing up.
In 10 games, he had almost 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns.
That's not bad. Pretty
In this
decent.
game,
10
he
games.
averaged 2.7 yards per carry.
Yeah.
17 carries, 46 yards.
As opposed to Corey Dillon, who rushed for 100 yards in the first half. No,
Patriots-
excuse me. He ran for 98 yards in the first half. And then you didn't see him at all in the third quarter. They had somebody named
Whoa.
Cedric Cobbs.
Yeah, who the fuck was that?
I remember that. That name jumped
I
out to me.
No idea.
Really?
What said.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't remember Cedric Cobbs.
Neither.
But
So back to William Green real quick.
okay.
So this is last season during his 2003 season was fraught with turmoil. After a good start to the year, he was arrested for drunk driving and marijuana possession, and notoriously seen wearing one shoe and one sock during the arrest. And then he got a 4-game suspension for that. While under suspension, Green's fiance, Asia Gray, stabbed him in the back during a domestic dispute. The league extended his suspension through the end of the season for treatment purposes.
Get out of here.
Nice.
So he's coming off that year.
All right. So you can see how it would take him a little while to like get ramped back up. You know, they're only 13 games into this season. It's no big deal.
He ran a 4.85 40-yard dash. That guy's not making the NFL in today's league.
No.
He's a first-round pick.
Well, he wouldn't be a first round pick in today's league, that's for sure.
No, not a 4.8. Pats had 50 carries in this game, 4.5 yards a carry.
Oh yeah. This was the epitome of like Pats beating up on a bad team. Like they didn't look like they even had to break a sweat because this game literally started.
I'm telling you, played pretty good at the beginning.
It was over 30 seconds in. The Patriots, Bethel Johnson returned the opening kickoff for touchdown, and the game was over. Like that was it.
For them, for the first half, they played them to a 14-7. Brady
21-7.
Well, take out the kick return touchdown. After that one play, it was 14-7.5.
Yeah, except like you can say that, but yeah, it was a 95 yard kickoff return, and then their next Patriots' next scoring drive was a 96-yard scoring drive where they just like ran it at will. And then they did it again and started. It was like a 78-yard scoring drive. And it's just like they were just doing kind of what they wanted. And then there was a few like random mistakes, like Corey Dillon had a fumble.
Yep.
On one of the drives.
Brady probably should have thrown a couple interceptions in there.
Yeah. But it was just like, I mean, the interception was just like, you know, garbage time. Yeah. Trying to get in a field goal range and whatever. Didn't really matter. But
they went for it on 4th and down with a Patrick pass fucking run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they didn't run it with Corey Dillon randomly.
Yeah. They're from the 30. And I think Corey Dillon's hurt in this game because
that's what they said in the highlights.
Last carry, and he doesn't come back for the rest of the thing.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't come back for second half. Well, he came back to get his 2 yards because he finished a half at 98. And so we had like one run to start the fourth quarter to make sure he got his 100-yard game, and then they pulled him again.
It's probably a bonus for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's probably lobbying Bill Belichick to get back in there just so he can get the.
Your boy Kevin Falk had 87 yards, pretty close to 100.
Kevin Falk has some good runs in this game. Cedric Cobb, not so much.
He had 29 on 16 carries, though.
That's what I'm saying. He looked like a poor man's Corey Dillon.
Yeah, he was not very good.
Yeah, but this is a great 3 phases game for you, Greg. I know you're a big fan of that.
I am.
They had the kickoff return, start the game for a touchdown. Corey Dillon had a couple of touchdown runs. Falk had a touchdown run. Brady had a beautiful deep shot to Patton on 3rd and 22 for a 44-yard touchdown.
That was they ran the play before he missed it. Brady missed it. And run it again.
Exactly. Fuck it. Do it again.
Yeah.
And that was definitely just that. As soon as that happened, I stopped keeping track of drives and stuff. I just wrote garbage time because that was literally the beginning of garbage time.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots also started the second half with William Green fumbling and Randall Gay returning it for a touchdown to start the blowout.
Did you see the play by McGinnis on that play?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Commentators were shitting on McGinnis for holding.
Commentators were all over it.
Explain what happened first.
He saw the guy
Explain what happened first.
Pick him off, so he's like, "No, let me get in front of you so I can block that guy." And
Greg, Greg, explain what happened.
Yeah, so Randall Gay picks up the fumble, and McGinnis is 2 yards behind him, and he grabs Randall Gay by the jersey and kind of yanks him back behind Willie so he can get in front and lead block. And he does a good job. He blocks him, and Randall Gay then scores. So it's kind of it looked weird, but I think
but the commentators were basically ripping on McGinnis, saying, if he hadn't done that, Randall Gay would have been able to just outrun everybody anyway, and it would have been a whole lot. It's a 30-yard return instead of a 50-yard return because Gay had to cut it back all the way across the field.
Okay, rookie, I want you to run 50 yards instead of 30.
Yeah, it's that was his way of hazing. I don't think you haze in the middle of a football game, bud.
Yeah.
That's a dumb take.
Oh, very dumb.
This was also the same commentator that said, if the Patriots were a Swiss Army knife, do you know how many attachments they'd have? To which the other guy said, a lot. So riveting stuff from these guys.
They also said, here's Don Davis at safety. And they're talking about the Patriots.
Yeah. No, that was legit.
I know. The amount of no-name defensive backs on this 2004 team is ridiculous.
Oh, well, that's because Don Davis is a linebacker. But the Patriots came, and this is something I want to touch on too, is the versatility.
I didn't know Don Davis is a linebacker. I didn't even know who Don Davis is.
Right. And he's not a small linebacker. He was a big dude because they were all big linebackers back then. But they decided he's number 51 and he's starting at deep safety because the Patriots decided, Luke McCown starting in his first game with the interim coach, all the turmoil happening, and the Browns can't throw it deep over the middle. So you know what? We're going to put a linebacker back there because then he can step up to stop the run game because we have literally zero fear of this Browns team throwing it deep down the middle. And it worked perfectly.
Counterpoint. His
Dennis
other option was Dexter Reed. And he says, wow, these guys both fucking suck. Who cares?
Dexter Reed. Well, Dexter Reed had a forced fumble in this game.
He did. That was a good strip fumble.
Yeah.
Earthwind Moreland's out there.
Oh, yeah. Troy Brown.
Gay.
Making plays. Yeah.
Troy Brown plays a lot out there.
Troy Brown, I think, probably played more defensive back in this game.
Got an interception, right?
Not in this game.
Not in this game. No. He did have a big time play, though. That was going to be.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure he has an interception in this game.
Troy Brown.
Did you guys miss that one?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
I must have missed it. Did he really?
Look at this.
Motherfucker.
Well.
Yeah, I didn't watch the fourth quarter.
Yeah, fourth quarter.
Now I have to go back and watch it. I got to see that Troy Brown interception.
And a fumble recovery?
That was on the punt.
Oh, yeah, on the punt. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I turned this game off. It was such a blowout. So we're going to have to go back and watch that and make sure we get that because Troy Brown interceptions are a big fucking deal.
Old Uncle Greg. Oh, you don't watch the game, Greg?
You didn't watch the game, Greg.
You never watched the game, Greg. But he also made the tackle on the fourth down play. That was
inside the red zone.
Yeah, in the second quarter.
This was a classic Troy Brown game. He crushes it.
Yeah. And he had some punt returns, a couple catches. No big deal. Just Troy Brown being Troy Brown. And and there was a punt that it bounced short and hit Randall Gay in the back of the legs that he recovered as well. Nice heads up play. Typical Troy Brown shit. That's why that's why we're the Troy Brown fan club on this podcast.
Fan
T-shirts and everything.
Lightly. We're the Troy Brownistans.
Troy Brownistans?
I don't know. Isn't that like a thing? You call someone a stan when they're very famous?
Yep.
It's a K-pop thing, right?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It seems like it would be a K-pop sort of thing.
Have you seen K-pop?
Not really. More than like 5 seconds.
It's crazy.
How much K-pop have you watched?
I watched like a performance. I came across one of that really popular group.
How BTS?
BTS. Yep.
I've heard.
There's like 12 of them. They're a huge group, and they all sound like they're like prepubescent boys.
Are they prepubescent boys?
Are they actually singing?
It's hard to tell because how Asian people always look younger. Not to generalize, but yeah.
Yeah, they age well.
They're incredible singers. Their voices, and they're like great performers. It's not really my type of music, but like I'm like, okay, I could see why people like this, but it's
entertaining.
It's like it's out there.
I would think it's similar to like original NSYNC and 98 Degrees.
No, way more skilled, way more talented than that.
Yeah,
it's
really.
I would put it on par with like a Glee performance, right? Like those high school musical, where it's like, yeah, they're really good singers and they're good performers, but it's very campy and very like, I don't know, it's like
very scripted, very
too cheery for me.
Way too cheery. That's what it is. Yeah, they're all like smiling and like in a good mood. It's like
you're having way too much fun right now. I'm not about that.
There is a artist band, I'm not sure, called Baby Metal, which is kind of
metal,
K-pop and heavy metal put together. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Interesting.
So the internet was upset that Rob Zombie posted a picture with them.
Really?
A lot of people were saying they're not metal.
Rob Zombie, local guy, grew up in Haverhill.
Really?
Godsmack was local.
Yep. Him and his brother, who is the lead vocalist, I should say, singer is a strong word, of Power Man 5000.
That's right.
I thought it was called Haverhill.
Shut up, Steve. Haverhill. Twexbury.
It's always the best one.
Worcester.
Yeah. Gloucester. Yeah, so these commentators, I don't know, who was it? It was Randy Cross and somebody else. Don Cricky, maybe? I don't know. I would call this the B team.
Kevin Harlan.
Okay. But they were amazed at the versatility of the Patriots. Troy Brown playing defensive back. They literally called it out every time he was out there, which is good on them. The Don Davis playing free safety, and also he lined up at defensive end at one point too, as a linebacker. So he just didn't play linebacker. There was one play where both Richard Seymour and Mike Vrabel reported as eligible on one of the Corey Dillon touchdowns. And then Christian Fourier knocked down the Hail Mary at the end of the first half. And they were ecstatic about this.
That's a good point. That's a lot of players playing cross positions.
Oh, yeah.
Way more than you see very often, especially this day and age,
Well, when's the last time you've seen somebody play both sides of the ball?
Seymour was plowing people on that goal line. He made that touchdown.
Yeah.
Vrabel's a threat on there because he's already got like 6 TDs as a tight end.
Yeah. Did you hear Belichick talk about someone asked him about the long snapper and whether you needed a roster spot for a long snapper?
Oh,
he's like, couldn't you just train like a regular offensive lineman to do that job?
No.
And he gave him like a 10-minute response. And it was actually pretty interesting.
It always is.
He talked about how like the league has evolved and that people have tried that. And then they ultimately, came down how decisions got made and which players like set precedents and that everyone kind of followed those. It was pretty cool.
I love that shit.
He's a smart
He
son of a
does.
bitch when he gets going.
Oh, I love when he gets going on something like that because he does. He talks for like 10, 15 minutes.
And I just wish he would do that more often because, like, I feel like it's like a mood thing where sometimes people ask him my questions. I'll be like, oh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And he'll still just shut it down.
Yeah.
So it's
I feel like he's more open to answering them lately. Past few
He's
seasons.
gotten more effusive. Okay, more occasionally.
Ooh, Steve.
You like that?
It's an SAT word.
Yeah, I
What
went to
point?
school.
But if you were like, hey, Bill, what's the Patriots theory in off season here, like compared to last year? Because obviously there's a big difference.
Right.
He's not going to answer that question.
Well, no, because
Well,
there's a
actually-
competitive advantage to be gained, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't
want
He's
to-
telling people what his strategy is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all like strategy. And you know,
Mhm.
he's got,
But when you're saying, oh, in the context of NFL history, why do you like left-footed punters more?
right.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
there we go. You know?
Yeah. And you go off about spin rate and
Mhm.
people catching it aren't used to it coming at them.
Does that not give someone else a competitive advantage if they then go after left, you know?
At that point, when he answered that, that's pretty known. No, everyone knew he loves left-footed punters. He likes his left-footed punters. So they all started copying him anyways.
And also, I don't think there's enough left-footed punters for it to make that much of a difference. I think it's left-footed punters are like it's another like checkbox to tick off. I don't think it's like he's only looking for left-footed punters. You know,
Speaking of that, how did Johnny Hecker not end up on the Patriots?
has he been signed
Yes.
by whom?
I don't remember.
Well, did you hear about this kid from college?
Yes,
Punt God?
the punt god. That's right. Who just basically has said, "Fuck everything except for distance," and punt it 80 yards
No.
every time.
No.
Yeah, that's his main
No.
thing.
Yeah, but he's good at everything.
Hecker to the Panthers.
Like his like pin down punts are like really good too. He's like way above the percentile for that stuff. He's just like the best punter that's ever punted
Oh,
by
So do the
any
Patriots
like
draft him?
metric or it's crazy.
that's
So
why we
what are the
traded
odds
Jack
that-
Mason for a 5th-round pick, so we can go get this guy.
Yeah,
Yo, is he gonna be available in the 5th round?
Yeah, I think people are going to take him before that.
I think so too.
I mean, if you think about Hecker is worth like 5th round pick is a guy that, like might make your team. Johnny Hecker is more important to the Rams the past decade than their backup guard or whatever. Like the
I mean,
punter
yeah.
is
Well-
kind of important.
Oh, Greg, you're sounding a lot like Bill Belichick right now. Are you sure?
Well,
Are
I'm
you
just-
feeling all right, buddy? I thought you don't give a shit about special teams.
It's true. I'm really drinking the Kool-Aid right now. I'm just hyped about punt god.
Oh man. So what are the odds that he ends up on the Patriots?
I think they're pretty good. Again, if we draft him with the pick we traded Shaq Mason for, it's gonna get roasted. You gave up a guard for a punter,
Fucking right.
but Greg's right.
Can you
I want to see
name
where they're projecting him.
the punter who was drafted in the first round?
Tom Tupa?
He's a first round pick.
Tom Tuba?
Yeah.
Was he drafted as a punter? I thought he was drafted as a
No.
quarterback, but then he converted
Maybe,
to
but he's
punter.
a punter too. Tom Tupa can do everything.
Tom Tuba did do everything. Wasn't Tom Tuba the first player ever to score a 2-point conversion, I think,
You might be right.
as a holder for the Cleveland Browns under Bill Belichick. How about that for some
Who drafted a punter first round?
Oakland Raiders? They drafted Ray Guy, 23rd player chosen, 1973.
Oh, 70.
Remember Ray Guy?
Yeah,
Yep.
Dude was a fucking punter.
He was the original punt god.
Punt god
Mhm.
ran a 4.72 40.
Okay. That's fast with Tom Brady.
He's
Faster than,
projected 5th round.
Oh, so
Or-
that
or
Shaq
later.
Mason pick is definitely going to the punt god.
Let's go, baby.
That's faster
100%.
than Willie Green, right?
I think it is. Oh man.
There's only been one punt in the NFL since 2014 that has traveled 80 yards. Arieza did it twice last season.
I don't know who that is.
That's the punt god.
He put 39 punts inside the opponent's 20-yard line, averaged 52 yards per punt, and set pretty much every record you could imagine.
Yeah.
This
People
guy
are watching
rules.
his college games just to see him punt.
He's going to the Jets then. That's where he can really fucking shine.
Oh man, no, he's going to
It's like that
Jacksonville.
kicker that Tampa Bay drafted
Oh,
from Florida State.
Roberto, some other.
Yeah. And they had
Blanket shit.
the HBO show that
Mhm.
year, and we just watched him like just mentally collapse in front of our eyes every week.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Just yeah, and he was like a second round pick or something, right? And everybody roasted him like on draft day for it.
Mhm.
Well, he was also like legit in college in the big moments too.
Yeah, he was like one of the best college kickers ever, and then he did absolutely nothing in
He was
NFL.
terrible. Yeah.
I think he came
Yeah.
back. I feel like he bounced back.
He did, but I don't think he ever like stuck.
No, he was more of a journeyman.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots tried him out before they settled on Nick Folk.
I would have known because I wanted him bad.
Why?
Steve.
Why?
Because he's got the sick rec specs, dude. That guy is the fucking
Oh, Blankenship.
Wrong
It's not
team.
Blankenship.
No,
Though.
we're not talking about him.
Oh, damn it.
No.
I wanted
Blankenship is the man. Yeah.
He is the fucking man. Sucks the Colts got him. They got some good kickers. Vinatieri and then blanket shit.
And what's his name?
Oh yeah.
Vanderjagt.
Yeah.
Vanderjagt. Oh man. Speaking of which, this is the year that Manning is on pace to break Dan Marino's touchdown pass record.
That's right. They had a little graphic in this game about it because I
Mhm.
don't give a shit about that, I guess.
Yeah, I think he was 4 behind or something. Does he break it in 2004?
It's a good question. Marino's record was 48 and Brady got 50 in 07.
Yeah, but then Manning got 55
One?
like a couple years later,
Yeah,
like
with the
2000
Broncos.
10 or
Is
11.
that still the record?
Yes, Manning still has that record. Let's see, 55 in 2013. Peyton Manning, the Denver Broncos.
What did he get in 04? Did he actually break Marino's? Or?
That's what I'm trying to find. 2004, Peyton Manning threw 49, which was the most,
Yeah, that's it.
beating Marino by 1. He threw 48.
And then Brady beat him by 1.
And then 07, Brady threw 50. Then 2013, Manning threw 55.
That 50th touchdown pass from Brady will always stick in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
That was another run it again. You
It
know?
really was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to see these, like the most touchdown passes in a year. Jesus, the lowest. Wow. The lowest since no, that's still lower than that. How far back? We have to go back to 1992. Steve Young led the league with 25 touchdown passes for the 49ers. Did it again in 93 with 29. The next time somebody would win it with less than 30 was Tom Brady in 2002 with 28. Kind of a
You led the
low.
league in touchdowns? 2002.
Yes.
2002, yeah, with 28
Didn't
touchdowns.
even make the Pro Bowl.
Missed the playoffs. But yeah,
That's when
it's
Tom said, I don't care about individual stats. All I give a shit about is winning.
that's crazy.
Now he's like, I don't care about retirement. All I care about is winning. Do you want to talk about this NFL offseason?
Yep.
The current one,
It's been ridiculous. Yeah.
we probably should touch on it. Yeah, it has been.
There ain't no more meat on this Browns bone. It's
Oh yeah, no, there's. I mean, if you like watching Patriots blowouts, this is the one for you because it is
only
literally
takes three
over
quarters to-
30 seconds
Well,
in.
3 quarters, and then you got to fast forward to the Troy Brown interception. And
Apparently, yeah, you gotta go find that. But we'll put the highlight on the website so you can watch it there.
obviously,
PatsDynasty.com. But yeah, so Greg, do you wanna touch on what are your thoughts on this free agency period of 2022?
I say we power rank the moves.
Yep. I think that's a good idea because there's so many that it's
So
like,
many.
yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to power rank them by? Most shocking?
Yes, the ones you didn't. You were just like, what?
Yeah.
Number 1, Russell Wilson
Rest of the Broncos, eh?
Yeah.
to the Broncos.
Let's just put them out. Let's just put them out there. Russ to the Broncos.
Watson
Yeah.
to the Browns.
Watson to the Brown.
That's pretty sure.
Rodgers staying in Green Bay.
And then his wide receivers leaving.
Devontae.
Adams
Leaving.
to the Raiders.
And MVS just left too.
Hill leaving.
Hill leaving.
Both of the Finns, yeah.
That's a big one.
Matt Ryan to the Colts.
Yep.
Carson Wentz to the Reds. To the
Hey,
Commanders.
Mariota to the Falcons.
Mariota to the
That's
Falcons.
That's not even register on the Richter scale. Malcolm Butler back in the Patriots.
Butler
Yes.
back.
Quick question: who do you think any more former Patriots come back? Trey Flowers, perhaps someone like that.
Oh yeah, Flowers for sure. It's
KVN,
not already done.
like Van Noy gets re-signed.
I wouldn't call Van Noy coming back since he.
I thought Van Noy got cut.
He did.
He did.
Oh.
Do you see him coming back?
Maybe. We'll find out next week.
Gilmore?
Gilmore, yeah, that was the other one.
I could see Gilmore coming back.
I can see Gilmore come back too.
Maybe. I think
Alright,
Gilmore
what
wants a
other
bag
big
though.
I don't think he's going to get a bag. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
That pretty much covers it, right, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, Khalil Mack to the Chargers. That
Oh,
one
yeah.
like is a huge move.
JC
That's,
Jackson to the
JC
Chargers.
Jackson, Von Miller to the Bills.
Oh yeah.
Remember that happened?
That's a shit ton of money too for
Yeah.
an aging Von Miller. But yeah.
What else?
So to me, I think the best offseason is the Bengals. You seen what they did?
They
Just
stacked
like
up their
shit
offensive line. Yeah.
linemen.
Dude, they stacked it.
Yeah.
Lale Collins, Ted Karras, and that guy Kappa from Tampa Bay.
But, yep.
That center, that's a fucking beast.
Oh, we need one more on this. I already mentioned it though. Brady unretiring.
Brady unretiring.
Yeah. Retired for 40 days.
So which
Yeah.
one do you have the highest expectations of, and which one do you think is going to
let's
bomb?
go shocking. Which one was the most shocking to you and least shocking?
I think Wilson to the Broncos.
Yeah, that was my biggest. What the fuck
I don't know
moment.
about that one.
Because Watson, you kind of knew was coming back.
Yeah, you knew Watson was going somewhere. The fact they went to the
Right.
Browns was pretty shocking.
Right.
Yeah. But you also knew Wilson was sort of going somewhere too.
Well,
There's been a lot of smoke around that.
There
front
has
line.
been.
Couple-
Yeah, but it felt like similar smoke to
It was
Aaron Rodgers,
Adams
where he just
leaving.
wanted more of a say.
Mine is Hill to the Dolphins.
yeah, that was a pretty
Came out
huge
of
one because I
fucking
didn't see that.
nowhere.
Yeah.
You didn't think he was like bitching about his contract. I think he's under contract for a couple more years. Like they did no need to move him. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's between the Dolphins and the Jets.
And then like half an hour later, they're like, yep, done.
Yeah.
It happened really quick. Yeah.
It really did.
And just when you're just like, maybe it's settling down too. It was like, JK.
So let's talk about that one. What is the reason for the Chiefs to do that? Because they don't want to pay him when he comes due?
I think
Yeah.
because they can't really pay him when he comes due because of how much money they're paying Mahomes is what I'm.
I don't know,
It's gonna be a
but that doesn't
factor.
make any sense because none of these contracts appear to hit a salary cap in any way. Like I looked up Hill and what kind of hit he has for the Dolphins. It told me that he's a 3% cap hit this year. He's like 10th in the team. And he just
Well,
signed.
you can do
signed
that
like a-
year one because you have a shitload of signing bonus.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Because
It always
I think he had
comes-
like 50 million or something guaranteed as a signing bonus. But you can spread that signing bonus over the course of the contract, which is why you always see it get converted to a bonus. Because
What I
then you
put
can
in
just
the-
like
in our group chat, Matt Ryan's cap hit this year combined across both his teams is like 75 million.
yeah. But
The
yeah,
Falcons
between
are paying him 40 million,
40
on the
million to
cap
play for the Colts.
not play.
Yeah.
They're playing Julio still 16 million to not play. It's a ridiculous amount of cap.
and the
Falcons
Saints are
paying
just as
players.
bad. But the
Yeah.
Saints did the same thing, but they just kicked all of that can down the road to where they have like only a handful of dollars left like next year already without having re-signed anybody
No, they're
because they
over
kicked
cap.
everything down the road so that they could actually make room enough to sign Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
Then he
got
decided to
fun.
go
They-
with the Browns anyway.
They created a bunch of space for Watson, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden he was like, "Nah, Browns."
So it almost feels like there's going to be a year where they just can't afford to pay 53 players to roster.
Well, that's why they had to let their left tackle go.
But people say that about the Rams, and they're just like, oh, yeah, they're just kicking the can down on the salary cap. And they re-sign Matt Stafford. They're talking about re-signing Aaron Donald.
Yeah, but
We're talking about re-signing Beckham. How can they afford that? I don't understand.
the other
They're mortgaging the future.
That the Patriots do that.
They already did mortgage the future. It is the future now from when they first started mortgaging it, and they're re-signing all their best players. I don't
I feel like
understand.
the Rams and the Cowboys especially pay like their top players a shitload and then pay the rest of their team nothing.
Right. I think that I think that's part of it is that they don't
no
have the depth. So they suffer from injuries, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Right. But that's
Pats are the opposite.
It's worked for
don't
them,
have
right?
a ton of money
won a
committed
Super
to the
Bowl.
top guys, but they have a bunch of guys making $6 million.
yeah, they have the biggest middle class.
And they got a lot of Rex Burkheads on their team.
Right, exactly. Yeah. A lot of special teamers, right? The Justin Bethels and the Matthew Slaters and special teams guys. Because all three phases, right,
You
Greg?
think Hill's going to be good on the Dolphins?
It's a good question. It depends on how you feel about Tua. I don't know. I'm not super sold on him.
Yeah, me either. At least you get to find out now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no excuses at this point.
Do you
He's
think
top left tackle, and we traded for like the best receiver in the league last year. So
the Chiefs will be good?
Jalen Waddle.
So, well, here's a question: Who has a better statistical season, Hill or Devontae Adams?
Adams.
Okay.
He's probably getting better balls, more target share. And I like.
Oh, I think I just think the Raiders are a more complete offense because they have a running back.
I think
tight end.
Derek Carr can sling too. I think people
Exactly.
underestimate how much he can actually gunsling.
And I think Josh is going to do well second time around.
Right. It's also, yeah, if somebody can get the best out of a
Dolphins
quarterback, it's
coach?
probably him.
Oh yeah, Mike
Some new guy.
Daniel. And who's their OC? Like, I don't even know who their OC is either.
I don't know. I don't care. But so I made the mistake today because I've actually been driving to work, so I've run out of podcasts. So I just had a quick drive to do this afternoon. So I
Did you
turned on
listen to
Sports
your own
Talk Radio.
podcast, Andy?
Of course I do.
Your
Um,
solo podcast?
I don't
Listen
listen to our
out.
podcast. I've heard
You
it
listen to
once.
the
That's
solo
more than
one.
enough.
You don't have to
More
listen.
than that.
Plus, if you listen to the solo one, Andy, you can just listen to yourself.
I do that. I just have that on repeat.
Yeah.
But yes, I made the mistake of turning on Sports Talk Radio, and they were talking about how it's a given that Tom Brady is going to be traded to Miami
I don't
Miami.
think Miami
Right.
isn't.
because there's rumors that Tom Brady is going to buy ownership stake
Mhm.
in the Dolphins, or has already, or something. And there was all that smoke around him. Like Brian Flores was supposed to be like trying
No, I
to
don't think
tamper
that's
to
smoke.
get
I think
him to
that's
come.
legit. I take that as truth verbatim.
No,
That they're trying to recruit Brady, and Flores said, "No, fuck this."
Yeah,
If it
probably.
wasn't
Yeah, I
for
could see that.
Flores, Brady probably would have been on the Dolphins, and they would have made all these moves, and he'd be on there.
Maybe. But they're saying now that Brady doesn't want to play for Arians. And so it's basically a done deal that he's going to Miami. And how does Patriots fans think of that?
So I will put Brady unretiring at the bottom of my surprise list. That and J.C. Jackson going somewhere and getting a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the bottom. I was pretty surprised.
I was a little surprised.
I don't
But
know.
I wasn't shocked.
It
I was
not-
uninterested is probably the word I would use.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
happy that I'm not going through the isn't he,
Oh yeah.
That's nice to not be a part
It
of.
just sucks that he's entered the Brett Favre phase of his career, you know?
Yeah.
It's tough. I always thought he's better than that. But
Von Miller to the Bills did surprise me too. They usually don't make big signings like that.
well,
They're
this
going
is their
for it.
window, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is their chance. They got the AFC on the ropes, although this is going to be a tough year for any team to come out of the AFC,
Oh yeah.
which is another reason why I think Brady stays in the NFC, because
Oh yeah. It's him and
who's he got to go through? Aaron Rodgers with no weapons,
Yeah.
The-
that
the-
receiving course sucks now.
the Falcons with I'm going to say no quarterback,
Marcus Mariota.
the Saints with no
Jason-
quarterback.
No,
Jameis.
I'll stand by that.
Panthers with Sam Darnold and Johnny Hecker.
The Giants.
Right. With
Daniel
no
Jones.
quarterback.
Carson Wentz on the Commanders.
Yeah.
That one is a guaranteed disaster. I can't wait to watch
Oh,
it because it's going to be a disaster from day one, and everybody
Oh, yeah.
knows
I'm
it.
very
And we're
excited.
all going to sit there and be like, "Yes, we're all wicked smart because we knew this was not going to work."
I bet Eagles fans are ecstatic about that.
Oh yeah.
Imagine if he turns out to be awesome on the Commanders. How fucking ridiculous that would be.
That
I would hate that.
would be the
It'd
most
be-
shocking thing of the season.
It'd be Kristaps Porzingis all over again. We're like, oh, the Knicks just drafted this fucking 7-foot Latvian guy that we've only seen playing against like folding chairs. He's going to be fucking awful. And then he came in and
Then he
was
just
dominant.
slays.
We're
yeah.
like, what the hell?
This is the Knicks. This shouldn't be happening.
This is the goddamn Knicks.
Well, who does better, Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz?
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, without a doubt. I think Matt Ryan could have a good year.
Matt
I
Ryan's
might take
making
him
the
as
playoffs.
a fantasy sleeper.
Matt Ryan's making the playoffs with that team.
Yep,
Their offense is sneaky good.
It's the AFC though, it's gonna be tight in the AFC.
it is.
Not in the AFC South though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Well,
continuing-
Jacksonville could turn around. They signed Christian Kirk to a fucking $20 million a year contract.
84
The dumbest
million.
shit ever.
Yeah.
They basically tried to do what the Patriots did, but just signed a whole bunch of mediocre guys for the Patriots money. You know?
Dude, I looked up that Christian contract deal. Looks like he has like dirt on the owner or something because there's no way anybody that knows anything about sports looks at that and goes, yeah, this makes sense. He's like a top 10 paid receiver in the league now.
Yeah.
Where did he used to play?
Cardinals.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
That's
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
Where did he used to play? He's never had a fucking 1,000-yard season in his career.
To be fair, I like Christian Kirk. I would have loved him on the Pats. He would have been good, but not anymore.
I mean, having said that, didn't the Jaguars have like stupid amounts of money? So I mean, you got to
That's
spend
what
it
I
somewhere,
think.
right?
That's the only thing that makes sense to me is that like no one wants to go there because they're in such shambles that they have to like
Right.
super overpay to get anybody to sign.
Well, just trade for Tyreek Hill and throw him even more than that.
That's what I'm saying.
40 million he got.
Go get Devontae Adams.
Mhm.
I'm sure you've got the draft capital and the money. You always have the money.
Who's their coach?
Fuck.
Urban Meyer.
There's some awesome stories about Urban Meyer this week. Did you see those?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Doug
Yeah.
Peterson.
Didn't know who Aaron Donald was.
Who's this 99 guy? He's someone we should probably watch.
Be real. That's got to be a hit piece.
It has to be, but
I don't
I
know.
really want it to be true, so I'm believing it.
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Jags coach is Doug Peterson, by the way.
Really? Old
Yeah.
Dougie.
Mm-hmm. So he'll be one of those, you know.
They also signed Zay Jones for $10 million per.
That guy's never been good.
Nope. He averaged 32 yards a game in his best season.
Yeah, this will be good.
I think the Chargers could be sneaky good. I like their moves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
JC.
There's something wrong there though, that it's a couple years in a row now that they've had like a really good team on paper and there's something that's not working.
coaching.
Just
Man. That was
struggled.
the shit kicked out of him by the Patriots.
But it's Staley's
Like,
like kind of, I mean,
He's supposed to be
he's got a vision. He seems like he's like the players like him.
right.
He's pretty
Might
forward
not be good in,
thinking.
like game day, you know.
Yeah.
But he
I don't know.
he blew it last year, right?
Yes.
Right at the end of the season to not make the playoffs. Wasn't that him?
Yeah.
Where he had to play for a tie to make the playoffs, him and whoever they were playing.
Yes.
The Raiders, maybe.
the Raiders. Yeah.
And if they tied
They
that
called
game,
timeout.
the Steelers would miss the playoffs. It was
Right.
like, oh, it's definitely not going to happen. Then it was like
That game was awesome.
3/4 of the way through overtime, and he's stupid.
Do the Chiefs make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are you so confident? They have like the hardest division in football.
It's true.
Yeah.
Chargers, Russ at the Broncos now.
And if they start out like they did start this year, we kind of just say the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
They have no receivers really.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they have a really good coach and a really good quarterback. And to me, that means playoffs.
Like it's gonna be hard for the. You're gonna have to have 2 wild cards come out of there. They're gonna have to beat all the other good.
That division is going to be so sick. I can't wait to watch that.
Those division games are going to be worth watching.
I hope they get like every Sunday night game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It really should be prime time.
Juju to the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Yep.
These are
I think that might be a sneaky good one. That's a good,
Well, him and
that's a good fantasy sleeper pick there.
Yeah,
him and Valdez Scanling too.
Oh, he sucks.
He's just fast. But
Yeah.
now the Packers don't have him, so it's gonna be fun.
Have you heard the USFL rule change, or I guess rules that are different? You know, they like try them out in USFL.
Yeah. Like they did with
Well,
XFL, right?
Yeah, I wrote a couple down because I thought
Alright.
they were pretty interesting.
I'm listening.
So one of them is the onside kick thing option that we've talked about, where it's the 4th and 12 from your own 33.
Oh, interesting.
You can do that in lieu of a onside kick.
Okay.
I personally love that one. I think that's a great idea.
I just feel like you take it every time, but okay.
4th and 12 from your own.
If you don't get it, they get the ball on your 33-yard line.
Yeah, 12 yards is long.
You're fucked too.
All right.
Less chance you even get that. The onside kick chances are so low.
Yeah.
Well, they've done the math, and it's
I'm sure they've done the math. That's why it's 4th and 12 and not 14
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. A 3-point conversion
How's that work?
from the 10-yard line.
That should be from the 12-yard line too. If you're gonna do 12, right? You may as well just even it out.
Yeah, 10 seems a little close.
I feel like I would just
But
go for that every time.
when you're going into the end zone, 10 is more than that's harder to get than a
It's more
4th
than
and
2.
10 from your own 30, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you don't have to cover as much of the field.
But in concept, do you like that one?
I don't know. That'd be too much. That's a field goal,
I feel like it changes the dynamic of strategy way too much because
Exactly.
right now, having those it's a 2-score game, those things
Right.
are hugely
Shouldn't
impactful
matter.
to games. And if you change that one rule, you're going to change all sorts of strategy,
Yeah.
Yep.
which I kind of like that strategy as it is now.
Yeah.
And you're not
It
really solving
changes-
a problem. You're just adding kind of a gimmick rule.
And
to
it's
it.
like a field goal too. It's
I mean, if it was
Close
like
to
a 50-yard field goal for 3 points, I'd be like, okay, let's try that for 3-point conversion. That would
extra
be
point from midfield.
right. Yeah.
Justin Tucker would be the fucking MVP.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Hitting 3-pointers every time.
You sign him to 100.
Well, didn't they have a rule change about overtime as well? What's their overtime?
Yeah. So the overtime one is overtime shootout. So it's similar to like a penalty kick in soccer, where each team gets 3 2-point conversion attempts,
Okay.
and then whoever has more successful
I
ones,
see. And then you go 1 for 1.
and then you do sudden death. Yeah.
Interesting. That's not too bad.
That's better than what they got.
I mean, it's not
I
football.
think you just follow college, and just maybe tweak that to.
But it's kind of
is fun in college.
Oh yeah, it's definitely similar.
it's kind of hokey that you don't actually play
Right.
like
It's
real-
basically like, it's like one play to win.
which you could say about soccer or hockey, to be
Yeah.
fair, too, right?
Right, yeah.
That's a pretty hokey way to finish a game.
Yeah, I've always
I
hated penalty
when you
kicks.
end in shootouts,
in soccer.
honestly.
Yeah.
I like
so
college. College has got it. I don't know why you need to rethink it. Take
just
college,
fucking
make
keep
it a
playing
little bit harder.
quarters until somebody leads at the end, right? Fuck it.
Nah.
Make them play for fucking 3
Way
days at
more
a time.
exciting. College overtime is the best.
Gambling. It
Yeah.
affects the point spreads
Yeah.
because the overs hit way more.
Yeah.
Well, then just make the winning
Dick.
team only score by 7 or whatever it is, whatever the last score is.
I saw something.
I agree. I think that's a good way to do it.
Whatever the difference in overtime is what gets added to the winning
Yep.
team regular season.
I like that.
Score.
Yeah, it's like bag toss,
Okay.
where if you both score, they cancel each other out.
Oh yeah. All right. That's
Right?
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just whatever the plus
So
minus.
you're,
is.
you're
Yeah.
playing
Yes.
football bag toss.
Yeah.
until-
Football bag toss.
until someone
That's not
falls
bad. That's not bad.
Punter bag toss would be sick too.
out. That Hicker's getting a lot
Dude,
more than what he made.
Draft punt god and just have him
Yeah.
fucking drop.
The second.
Yeah. No.
person-
Oh, so here's what you do, right? You get kiddie pools, right? You put them on the corner of each end zone, and you have the punters punt from midfield, and whoever
Dude.
hits the kiddie pool.
I love this idea.
See?
Yeah. What about
I like
what about
that. I
a
like mine. All right.
what about a punt pass kick? But
Ooh.
the same
Ooh,
thing
ooh,
where it's a kiddie pool and they have to throw it, they
Yeah.
have to punt it, and you have to have kickers. So you have 3 separate positions
Ooh.
do the challenge.
Yep. And then it's the bag toss scores. So it's
Yeah.
whatever plus minus you get.
Yeah.
That's your final score. Love it.
3 rounds. So each
No, it should just be. I think we've already solved this. It should be a sumo wrestling match between the 2 fattest assistant coaches. Isn't that what we said?
KY jelly though. Gotta have.
And whichever coach pushes the other coach, like they start at the 50, and whichever one pushes the other coach to the other opposite team's 40-yard line wins the game.
Fucking Andy Reid did. He's going to the fucking.
This is what I mean. Yeah. Belichick's got to bulk up for this shit.
but they're tied together because we don't want them like
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're Velcro together. So, yeah, whatever.
or remember the challenge MTV's The Challenge, where
Vaguely,
they
yeah.
tied each other back to back.
Yes.
And they had to like go. It was like a tug of war, and CT just picked that dude up on his back, and he was like dangling. He just did like
there.
and then he like threw him into the thing.
Yeah.
Classic
Dating
CT.
Classic CJ.
That guy was a psycho.
I
Yeah,
never
he
watched
definitely
it.
is.
You don't remember CT from Boston?
Mm-hmm.
He was like the most stereotypical Boston guy ever.
Yo,
Just loved starting fights and being a
I really
meathead.
should
Just a
rewatch
dick,
the
yeah.
original.
Yeah.
It's because they were from Real World, right?
yeah, I think so.
Originally.
Yeah. Or Road Rules.
Right.
It was
right.
Real World Road Rules Challenge.
I really should rewatch Real World because that shit was Wild West back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the original ones are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, with all of these free agent moves, which Patriots game are you most looking forward to this year? I'll give you a quick rundown.
Okay.
At Cleveland, at Green Bay, at, obviously home and away Miami, at Minnesota, home and away Buffalo, home and away Jets, home versus the Ravens, home versus Bengals, home versus Bears, home versus Lions, at Pittsburgh, at Arizona, at Vegas, home versus the Colts.
At Vegas.
Yeah.
At Vegas will be a good one.
Yeah,
With McDaniels.
No doubt. Josh McDaniels, the Raiders resurgent. Second would be I can't believe I'm saying this, with the Browns.
I was thinking at Cleveland
Mm.
against Deshaun Watson.
Where does Baker go?
He still needs a quarterback. Seattle?
Who's left? Yeah, who's left?
The Lions? I've heard that thrown around.
No,
Hmm.
Lions are they're gonna
Seattle
write
signing,
for another year,
Colin
suck
Kaepernick.
Zen, and then draft next year. I think Seattle's got to be right.
I think he's
They're signing Kaepernick, Steve. You haven't heard this?
No,
Pittsburgh. Signing Pittsburgh.
Kaepernick is still getting floated as a.
I did hear that.
He did one of his little thirst traps online where he,
Yeah, he did a workout
video.
with some Seattle wide receiver. I don't remember which one it was.
Tyler Lockett.
Was it? Okay.
I think
Who
so.
might not be. There's rumors that he's not going to be.
well, if
Seahawk
that
player.
happens, then we have a new number one, most unexpected.
This is true. This is
Yeah,
true.
Kaepernick coming out of retirement after like 5 fucking years
It's been a
after
while.
being blackballed. Yeah, I'll put that at the top of the list for
That'd
sure.
be dope. I'd love that.
No, it wouldn't. It would be awful.
It'd be great.
Because
came
we'd
back
have
and
to
then-
listen to sports analysts talk about like politics, and you'd want to shoot yourself, and you'd be like, God, just talk about sports for me once, please.
Why are you listening to people talk about sports, Craig?
Yeah, that's your first problem.
Yeah,
That's why I don't
you're right.
listen to our
Imagine if
podcast.
imagine if he's just wicked good too.
That'd be amazing.
Imagine if he comes back and he just lights up. Like,
Yeah, and they
It
go
would
like
be wild.
beats
They
the
go like
Rams and the
14 and 2 or
49ers in
14
his
and 3.
division,
Yeah.
and it's just like, told you bitches.
fucking amazing. It's Brady versus Kaepernick in the NFC Championship.
No, it's Robert Griffin III versus Kaepernick.
It's Kaepernick.
No, have you
versus
seen
Russ in
RG3
the
lately?
in the Super Bowl?
Did you see it was like RG3 and Andrew Luck? Was it Super Bowl or something? Or maybe it was like a college playoff football game or something. They were like commentators or something. There's a picture of them.
Yeah.
No,
Andrew Luck
didn't know
looks
Andy Luck was
rough.
commentating.
Does he?
Yeah, he had
He's always
the,
kind of looked ugly.
he had the Greg Brown mustache though, and he's lost like a shit ton of weight, and he's just like all head now. He looks
I
ridiculous.
love Andrew Luck, dude.
Yeah, I
Good
could-
for
I
Let
him.
me see if I can. Yeah, let me see if I can share this. With
Oh,
you guys.
speaking of your mustache, Greg, I heard that you dyed it.
Yeah, I tried.
What do you mean you tried?
I got the whatever for men, when you get the gray,
Yep.
and I did that, and it kind of worked, but not really. Robert Griffin III looking like a snack.
Yeah.
He looks like
And he looks
Looking
alright.
very
He's
well
definitely a
put
lot
together.
thinner. You're right. Lost a lot of that football weight.
he's lost a lot of weight. RG3 is
man.
looking real good though. Look at that, man.
He's dressed
That's a nice fitting suit.
And he looks like he's just like me. Not like he's going on national TV.
Yeah.
Well, that's always been his thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Andrew looks like he didn't realize he was going on television that day.
Good
Like
for
somebody,
him.
so
For that reason.
he's got like the collared shirt on, but then like a jacket that's probably not his over it.
Yeah.
And so someone's like, "You should probably go. Like everybody else is wearing a jacket." He's like, "I don't have one. Can I borrow yours?" And just
All I
like
have is
chucked
this
it
polo
on.
from golf earlier.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
right.
I thought this was just like a casual thing. Like, no, this is
like, I love it. Do you give a shit?
college playoffs for national television. You're going on ESPN. It's like, oh, okay. Can I borrow your jacket?
No, they're probably like, you need to wear a jacket. He's like, I do.
Why?
What? This shirt's comfortable.
And he's right.
Yeah.
Oh
damn
yeah.
it.
Fuck
Well,
yeah.
I'm trying to live his life at RG3 is spending an hour. You're looking like a snack. Which glasses? These glasses or these glasses?
Oh, here we
These
go.
glasses or these glasses?
Hey, whatever floats your boat, you know? Like I bet RG3 likes that shit and Andrew Luck doesn't. So let them dress how they want.
Correct.
Oh, Greg, that's very understanding of you,
Thanks, Steve.
especially for you.
Look at that mustache.
Yes, the mustache is pretty sweet.
Oof.
So how
And the
long-
5 o'clock
let's get back
shadow.
to
What is he doing?
dying
Do we
of
know
the
what he's
mustache,
doing?
Greg. How long did you have it dyed for? Did you dye it? It came out bad and you immediately shaved it off? Because you don't have it anymore.
See what the quote says there from RG3, Steve? Let's use words to build bridges, not walls. Okay? Steve, thank you very
Please.
much. Look at me. I'm
You're
a
just trying to
bridge
deflect
builder.
from your mustache, Greg. I know your fucking moves. Answer my questions.
What?
Give me more about the dyeing situation.
I tried to dye it using the old man gray beard shit
And how did you not take photos of this and send it to the
because it
family
didn't
group
really
chat?
work. It didn't like make it very dark.
You didn't double down like that? Get some pink?
No, it's a whole process. You gotta put the paint together, mix it, and then you paint your shit, and then you gotta at exactly 5 minutes wash it off. So it was this whole thing, and I was like, it didn't work. Fuck it, and I threw it all away. And then I shaved it the next day.
Oh, it's typical.
So who's paying the mortgage now?
It's a good question.
That's fair.
Good question, but stocks are going down. Yeah, the shareholders are very.
I shaved it, and
displeased.
then all of a sudden, Russia invades Ukraine. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah. Putin fucking didn't feel threatened anymore.
In an unrelated note, Kelly now has an OnlyFans where she takes pictures of her feet. So if you're a foot guy, only
Plot
at
twist, it's Greg's
onlyfans.com/Kelly Brown's feet.
Plot twist is just Greg gross
Yeah,
ass.
it's actually Greg's
disgusting from his years of soccer cleats.
I have very delicate feet.
Not a
You're
chance.
disgusting feet, Greg. Your feet
Yeah.
are gross.
No, they're not.
You have
Remember when I had a
gremlin
girlfriend in high
feet.
school, she just got a digital camera, and you had this gigantic patch of dead skin on the ball of your foot. And you took
Yeah.
a colored pencil,
Oh, I've done that.
put it through one end, slid it under, and poked it out the other end, and then took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, that,
I
is
do.
that when like
And
the
then
whole
she
like
found out later when she was going through her photos of like her time at our house and was like, "What the fuck is this?"
is that when like the whole like the skin on the entire ball of foot comes loose?
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah.
That shit's
Kind of sketched.
It's
Yeah.
awful. Yeah, I've had it a few times. Indoor soccer is what does it.
Never had it.
The fucking shitty turf.
Yeah, I don't get that anymore.
I've seen it because
Yeah,
I saw
it's-
that picture.
It's awful. It hurts.
Well, apparently you could put a colored pencil through it, so that's cool.
Oh, you definitely could. Usually you have to drain it too, which is also a good time.
Maybe that's why Greg had the colored pencil in the first place.
Could be. Yeah, pop it.
There's another video out there where it's like there was a flap coming off of it, and I drew a little smiley face under the flap. And there's a video where it's like peekaboo, peekaboo with a smiley face. It's just a dead skin peekaboo door.
You're
Oh,
just fucking a weird dude, Greg.
That one was cool.
All right.
Okay.
On that note, I think we've driven this into the ground. Give me your best and worst for
Greg, you going first?
2004, week 13, the blowout in Cleveland, the blowout by the Bay. I don't know. Is there a Bay in Cleveland? I'll go with it. The blowout in the Browns.
The Browns blowout?
Yeah. So
That's
brown
told by
out.
the Browns?
the brown out.
I'm just gonna give you my best and worst from free agency.
I figured. That's why you're going first.
All right. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, of course.
All right. My best Jacoby Myers re-signing with the Pats. That's my dude.
Has he?
Yeah,
That was a
1 year
officially
deal.
Signed his tender.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
1 year deal.
Love it.
He's the fucking man. NC State product.
Okay.
Does the dirty work. I'm his
I
biggest
didn't know you were a
fan.
big Jacoby stan.
Oh yeah,
he's
I am a
big
Jacoby
dude.
stan.
Gotta be.
You don't have to just like make it one word. You know that, right,
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I know. I like
Stick
that.
Okay, all right.
You do realize every time you
Yeah.
say it,
Sounds like a
sounds
country
it's-
this way. When I
it
think
sounds
this
like
way, it
Afghanistan,
country.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's cooler. All the cutting edge K-poppers are doing it.
Can you name all the stands, Steve?
Stan Van Gundy.
Afghanistan.
Uh-huh.
Stan Van Gundy.
Stan from South Park.
Mm.
Stan, that Eminem song.
Yeah.
All right, what's your worst, Greg?
Well, one more thing about like fans being names and stuff. Did you ever hear when Justin Bieber visited Anne Frank's house and he wrote in the guest book, "I would have liked to think that Anne Frank would be a believer."
Yeah.
Like about tough luck.
I mean, she's probably
Poor
right
guy. He was,
demographic.
like,
I mean, in his
13.
defense, she's right in his demographic wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he was like 13 at the time. So it's like, I'll give him a break.
I think Kim Kardashian talking about how people need to work hard is probably more of a bigger.
Oh, yeah.
oof.
She's the worst.
That one's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Work harder.
that's a-
Make more sex tapes. Come on, people.
Yeah. All right. My worst is Aaron Rodgers putting us through all this crap just to stay where he is.
and sign a massive fucking contract
Fuck
when he
you,
says all he wants to
dude.
do is win,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and it's not about the money.
And apparently he knew about Devontae Adams before he signed the deal, too. So, like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
What happened to this whole, like, I want to, like,
Yeah, keep the team
win
together,
keep
run it
have a
back.
strong team. Yeah.
Oops.
Dude, he's a dumbass.
What happens with Jordan Love?
Yeah, they got to
Still
trade
there?
him, I think.
He's still there. Jordan
Otherwise,
Love to the
Garoppolo
Seahawks.
2.0. Garoppolo 2.0.
There's an idea. Jordan Love, where does he go?
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
49ers.
No, they got Colin Kaepernick.
Buccaneers. And the Bucks
Seahawks.
trade Brady to the 49ers.
See, that's
Heard
what
it
I
first.
thought. I had heard that Brady wanted to sneak back into San Francisco.
Bay Area,
He was
yep.
pulling the Gronk, where he's
Right.
like fake retire and then get leverage
Trade
to
me.
trade him. Yeah,
I mean, it might still happen.
that'd be cool.
I would much
I think that
rather
would be a good idea for San Francisco.
I'd much rather Tom Brady come back and play for a different team than run it back with the Bucks. Like, I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about the Bucks anymore. Like, he's
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
that.
I don't think he does either.
And Arians is a garbage coach.
And if
I
you
don't
get
think
rid
it's-
of, if you trade Jimmy,
Jimmy,
you give Trey Lance another year because it sounds like he's still pretty raw,
Yeah.
and then you give Brady a chance to play in front of his hometown. Like that
Mhm.
seems like a win-win-win. Let's
Win-win.
make it happen. And then Jordan Love to the Bucks with Baker Mayfield backing him up.
Bucks.
Well, it's QB competition, Greg.
Dude, I want Baker to go to Detroit because I think they just fit from a personality
That
standpoint.
feels right, actually. Yeah, with
You know,
what's his
him
name
being,
with the
him
head
being
coach?
like on a fuck you tour and like
What's
a
his
city
name?
that's like-
Dan Williams or something as the head coach there.
Dan Quinn.
Dan
Mm.
Quinn.
Bite
Yeah.
your kneecaps off.
That's exactly.
He'd
it.
probably love him too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The whole state of Michigan would love him.
It's Dan Campbell though. Dan Quinn's the guy from the Falcons.
That's what Dan Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Steve. Give me best and worst.
My worst is Dylan's fumble, where he
Hmm.
got brushed by one guy's index finger and fumbled it.
Yeah, it was a tough look.
Super soft for such a hard runner.
It happens. Yeah, it happens every once in a while. Like I've seen more fumbles this season from Corey Dillon than I remember. Like he's
And
put the
then
ball on the
my
ground a few
best
times.
Is at one point Luke McCown
Luke,
had one completion to each team.
I am your father.
His first 2 completions, he's really spreading the ball around. Both sides.
Well, speaking of spreading the ball around, this isn't my best. It's just a stat. They showed a picture of the receivers for the Patriots this season. Any guesses on who the leading receiver is so far this year? I was a little surprised.
I saw this guy.
Dave Patton.
No, he is number 2, 31 catches, 556 yards.
Deion Branch.
He is 5th with 19 catches, 262 yards because he's been hurt for a few weeks.
Daniel
Came back
Graham.
last week. Daniel Graham is third, 24 catches, 296.
Kevin Falk.
Fourth, 23 catches, 200 yards even.
David
Givens.
Givens is number one, 50 catches, 760 yards so far on the season. I think Deion
Got
Branch
there.
makes a comeback. But 50 catches already on the season.
From?
760.
Notre
From?
Dame.
Notre Dame. Givens? He's from Notre Dame.
Oh,
right?
I was thinking Branch.
Oh, yeah. Branch from Louisville. Troy Brown from?
Louisville. They from-
Fan renowned.
From?
Marshall.
Marshall. Same as so what I've decided I'm gonna try our damnedest to get Troy Brown on the podcast by the end of this season. Which is
Wait,
probably
you
gonna be like
haven't tried hard damnedest
2026.
already, Andy? What the fuck?
2026 by the time that this season ends, by the way that we're losing episodes. But yeah. So and I want to ask him if he had anything to do with Randy Moss coming to New England because they both went to Marshall.
Well, obviously, you want Troy Brown. I thought that's the whole point of this thing was to get Troy Brown on.
Yeah, but I'm putting a concerted effort into like actually making this happen instead
It's
of
gonna
just
be tough
wishing
while
it.
he's coaching.
What does that mean? Just send him tweets?
Yeah, well, all the people that we've talked to be like, oh yeah, I talk to Troy Brown once in a while. I'm gonna hound them until they actually reach out to him.
Well, it's gonna be impossible.
You know what they say, Andy? It's not who you know, it's who you blow.
Well, you'll
This
be
is
back at
right,
some
right?
point, Craig. So I'll just coordinate that with you.
Is that why you had to get rid of the mustache?
Hey, this is my joke. Let's not turn this around, okay?
Too late. And just to round out the rest of those receivers after Deion Branch, Troy Brown, 13 catches, 145. Patrick Pass, the fullback, 11 catches, 103 yards.
10 yards a catch. Patrick Pass was legit.
He's not too shabby. So my best is Troy Brown had an interception this game. My worst is that I didn't watch long enough to see it. So I'm gonna have to go back and finish watching this game. Stupid fucking blowout. So
It was a punt return.
What?
You know, one of those ones where the guy just throws it straight up and he just like
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
falls
it.
in his lap. Yeah,
hey,
They'll
an
count,
interception's
though.
interception. And who
Yep.
better to catch a punt return
exactly.
That's a good point.
than Troy Brown? Am I right?
Oh,
You're right. You right.
Then Troy Fitzgerald Brown.
Oh,
Fancy.
also, Andy, you really missed an opportunity not naming your son Chadwick Pennington Brown.
Why would I name him after Chad Pennington?
Because the Chad Pennington was legit. We've talked about this. a lot.
Yeah, but I'm not naming my kid after Chad Pennington. I'm not naming my kid after a jet. That's fucked up. I am.
He was a Jet. He was a Bill.
I'm
he was a
offended.
Dolphin.
He is the reason the Patriots missed the playoffs those two years. The only time the
Chadwick.
Patriots have missed the playoffs is because
Yeah.
of
It's out of respect.
nope. That's fucked up, Steven. I may as well name him Adolf Hitler out of respect because fucking I don't know. Like that's just stupid. Because he was such a good
Siri.
foe in World War II.
Okay,
Right?
so now Chad Pennington is Adolf Hitler.
Fucking
Goodness,
world.
Andy.
I will say I did fight hard for
Yeah, you got you there.
I did fight hard for Troy as at least a middle name, but didn't happen. So
That's tough.
yes.
I'm naming my kid Genghis Khan. Brown.
No, Craig, you gotta use my middle name idea.
Rice
So what's your
pilaf.
middle name?
What is it?
What's your middle name?
What?
You make their middle name. What's your middle name? So then when the kid is in elementary school and gets asked, "What's your middle name?" They say, "What's your middle name?" And they say, "My middle name is David. What's your middle name?" He goes, "What's your middle name?" I go, "I know. I just told you my middle name."
What about if it was just like who?
Yeah.
What's your middle name? Who?
I
You.
also thought about shades of brown, like nut, hazel, light or dark.
Mm.
Poopy?
Yeah.
Gerald Poopy Brown.
Oak.
All right. Do you guys have any other anything else you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, go US men. Watch them tonight, 10
Oh,
p.m.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
I accidentally ate tacos for dinner. I fucking blew it.
Greg. So
I
if they lose,
know.
it's your fault. But Italy's out of the World Cup because they lost
to
the
North Macedonia.
correct.
Oh.
So there's your soccer talk for the day.
Yep.
All right, next week.
So much better than South Macedonia.
Oh, fuck South Macedonia. The worst.
Why would you call why your country North Macedonia? There's no south, there's no east, and no west.
right?
Just call it Macedonia.
Yeah, just like West
Fucking
Virginia.
idiots, dude.
Not only
Virginia's at least got Virginia.
but but you don't name a whole nother state West Virginia because it's not like there's an
part
East
of
Virginia.
Virginia,
It's just
right?
Virginia.
Well, it used to
But
be
you
part
need
of
to
Virginia,
distinguish
and
it
then
from
broke up into its
Virginia.
own state.
But Virginia already has a West. So what if you're in Western Virginia and then you cross the border to West Virginia? That's fucking confusing. And there's not enough schools in either of those states for that to work at all. Their educational funding is horrible.
How you know that?
Yeah, what do you mean? Northern Virginia has like one of the richest zip codes in the entire country.
And Western Virginia.
I'm talking Western
has
Virginia.
One of the highest drug overdose.
Yeah, exactly.
Western Virginia
The
and,
highest methamphetamine use per capita in the country.
No,
No, that's
it's
Manchester, New
not
Hampshire.
meth. Yeah,
That's
no.
Manchester. Manchester
Yeah, I
has
know.
the meth. No, we have what do we have?
Methchester?
No, what's the
Manchester.
what's the
Very
drug?
like animal.
I know what it is, Andy. You're talking about Manchganistan.
I'm actually talking about Manch Vegas. Thank you very much. But yes.
Oh no, that's not.
But
Iraq.
what's their drug of choice though in Manchester?
Like heroin.
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl, same thing.
Yeah, we have the highest fentanyl overdose per capita. I think.
Thanks a lot, Sacklers.
Yeah, fucking
Right?
assholes.
Yeah.
At least they get to keep
Jerks.
their money though, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of keeping their money, Patriots playing with house money. They're now 11-1. Next week they
Oh, I
are.
thought you were going to make a free agency joke. That would have been where it was at.
Yeah, well, I should have, but
Because they're.
I'm trying to bring it back to
keeping
2004 because we haven't talked much about that this week, and our listener is going to be pissed. All one of them.
We talked about the Browns for a good bit.
We did a little bit, but that blowout, that shootout win, Cincinnati Bengals winners of that come to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. So we get both teams back to back, and we'll see if they can fare better than the Cleveland Browns, who browned themselves. Right, Greg? Brown their pants.
What's the receiver's name?
Ocho Cinco.
No, the other guy that.
Chuck Johnson?
Lynch.
Whoosh Mizzou.
Who's Mizzou?
This is the Corey
TJ,
Dillon
who's
revenge
your mama?
game. Corey Dillon's revenge game.
Oh, this is a Corey Dillon revenge game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out next week on the Patriots Dynasty Podcast.
TJ,
See you
who's
later.
Mizzou?
See you later.
Who's your mama?